This is Year 2020 Rewire, language law liquidation, language, vocabulary, verbiage. I want to thank you, leaders, for taking the time to play this Rewire. And now that I have the attention of the leaders, I would like to say and extend Shalom Salam, peace, Rahubat, Ni Hao, Nei Ho, Etasin, Namaste, Xin Kiao, Paoni, Hola, Bonjour, Oi, Jabaliko Nyabo, Jabaliko Sebo, Moi, Hoi, Swadika. For some, it's Umi Sawud. For others, it is Dr. Sawud. For all, I am Sister Sawud. And now I'm opening the mouth with Istafbat. Abdurkul Tafulatat Wabazun Bibamul El Kulum. Anea fi el Ashuk Shil El Kulum. Wa Kul Ashuk Izufini. Anea Faragon Shil Kulum. Wa Kulum Izu Faragon Shil Ni. Anea Wahid Ma'al Kulum. Wa Kulum Izu Wahid Ma'ani. Ani Aikilu Anjihu Kama Faragon Shil Kulum. Wa Kob Kama Faryudun. Ani Aikilu Akwinu Kuldik Ani Akfizu Fil Kulum. Kama Kafazi Izulia Amidu Fil Kulum. Ania Kabahawahud. El Kulum Izuania. El Kulum Yaikilu Ani Aikilu. El Kulum Ya Milu Ani Abmilu. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. So now, this Rewire is for educational entertainment purposes only. And so you might ask yourself, why am I doing this live or this recording Rewire? It's my hour, simply, to rewire mind data syntax for upgrade. So I'm beginning with live, operative, absolutely random reasoning Rewire reviews. It's my earthling way. And so you might ask again, well, when will these rewires be done? And so I am beginning these rewires on random days, and they will be put out at random times, covering random subject matters. Thank you.
Housekeeping. Strict rules format. During this Rewire, I will feature 1 to 5 topics up to 30 minutes or 1 to 11 topics up to 60 minutes to be reasonably reviewed. The topics are based upon valid screen snatches that are retrieved from social media, such as Facebook and Twitter. The screen snatches must appear within the comments, and the screen snatches must be accompanied by verifiable and accessible websites that can be accessed during the time of this Rewire, or during the time of the posting of this Rewire if I am doing a video upload versus a live Rewire. So, I welcome diversity. All commenters, bots, plants, sponges, and even trolls are welcome to participate up until anybody begins to unreasonably become disruptive to the flow that I set via unnecessary or irrelevant or clutterish comments, ads, etc. Now, Facebook is one of several social media venues, so it's YouTube and Twitter. So, Hot political, extremely controversial posts will spill over to YouTube or other platforms, as holiness and higher science reviews spill over into offline private chambers. Thank you for housekeeping. It's that time to show your support, so please, FreeWillGift support hashtag Year2020Rewire via CashApp. That is $sand9woman. That's SAND number 9 WOMAN. Website for CashApp http://cash.me/$sand9woman. On PayPal, it is paypal.me/Yumi-Sand9woman. That's YUMMISAND number 9 WOMAN. Thank you for your support. Free Will Gift.
Now, without further ado, the following is for leadership, leaders only. The first topic that we come across within this Rewire is language law liquidation, language, vocabulary, verbiage. That's language law liquidation, language, vocabulary, verbiage. What do I mean by vocabulary? When I say vocabulary, I mean words of a language, alphabetically arranged and expressively defined and or translated. Expressively, we mean clearly defined, clearly translated by way of a lexicon or glossary. When we say verbiage, we mean the manner or the way in which something is expressed. The manner or the way in which something is expressed. Now, for the sake of this rewire, what does it have to do with anything? We're talking about, is something expressed that would lead to unity versus division, divisiveness, or confusion versus fusion. And these words together, vocabulary and verbiage, sets the direction and intention, especially when we look at words and names having assigned multiple meanings. And we have plenty of those words in the English language that one single word has multiple meanings. So we want to look at verbiage in the manner and as it pertains to how something is expressed in order to discover its intention and its direction. Now, I want you to take a long walk with me on a short path of principles. I remember, and I am remembering, and see planet-wide evidence that being bilingual has its economic and currency benefits for all. And so, within this rewire, and after this rewire, I encourage all leaders listening to tap into that world of being bilingual, no matter what type of language it is. Now, operating forward. Let's recall the situation. The right question, the right answer, formulas for remedy. Now, the situation. We come across 11.7 degrees Genesis, Barashif, of the Holy Bible. The Holy Bible, some might say, where we see this story of Nimrod in the Tower of Babel. Okay? And I'm using Bible Hub, BibleHub.com, if you would like to visit that site to check this stuff out. It's very quick, accessible. Please do that. But when we look at BibleHub.com, we look at the 11.7 degrees Genesis, we come across King James Version where it says, "Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." In the Berean Study Bible says, "Come, let us go down and confuse their language, so that they will not understand one another's speech." Then we have the New American Standard Bible that says, "Come, let us go down, and there confuse their language, so that they will not understand one another's speech." Then the New King James Version says, "Come, let us go down, and there confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." And the Christian Bible, last but not least, says, "Come, let us go down there and confuse their language, so that they will not understand one another's speech." So, here we have the Nimrod story in our Holy Bible, Tower of Babel, where there's a confounding of the language of a people. Ultimately, the unified operative mind verb leading to division, divisiveness, disorganization, and or inoperative actions and inactions. That's what's going on here in this story. We're talking about unified operative mind verb that is leading to division, divisiveness, disorganization, and or inoperative actions and inactions. What are we talking about when we talk about this? We have two types of minds that we're dealing with within this narrative of the 11.7 degrees Genesis, dealing with the Nimrod story of Babel, of the confounding of the language. We have a unified collective group of beings, and then we have beings who are on the outside looking into these beings, and they're saying, "Hold up, these beings are too unified. We must go down. We must go, and we must confound them. We must confuse them." What does that mean? We have beings who are unified, looking at other beings who are unified, and they're trying to figure a way to disunify them. Principle. And so they came and they said, "Let us go down, confuse their language. Let's confuse them to the point that they will not overstand each other, so that they will not overstand each other's speech." When we say speech, we're giving direction. It's not senseless talking or rambling. It is a speech. It has a direction. It has a purpose. It has an intention. Speeches have intentions. Okay, so they decided to go into a unified body and create division or divisiveness, to break it apart. Where there was fusion, we mean fusion as in coming together, they went and created confusion. When we look at the prefix con, it means against, right? We say confusion, against fusion, okay, against coming together. So now, we observe the question. When we're looking at the question, we want to go again to Bible Hub. I like Bible Hub. It's quick. It's fast. You want to check it out, BibleHub.com. Feel free to do so. This is where I access many of the scripts that I'm going to be reading or relaying to you. And so we have 3.3 degrees Amos in the Holy Bible. And in the King James Version it says, "Can two walk together except they be agreed?" And we're talking about this segment number 2. We're talking about the right question. We dealt with the situation. number 1. Now we have the question, the right question, number 2. The right question here says, in the New Living Translation, it says, of 3.3 degrees, Amos, it says, can two people walk together without agreeing on the direction? English Standard Version says, do two walk together unless they have agreed to meet? The Berean Study Bible says, can two walk together without agreeing where to go? The New American Standard Bible says, do two men walk together unless they have made an appointment? And the New King James Version says, can two walk together unless they are agreed? So tell me, how can two walk together unless they be agreed about the action or inaction and the direction? Meaning, where are we going to go and what is our intention? Where is our direction and what do we mean to accomplish once we do or don't do a thing? When I say action, we mean doing something. Inaction meaning withholding from doing a thing. Okay? And when I say do, that includes our dialogue, our oral dialogue, and that includes our physical action with our bodies. Okay? And so we have that question. How can any group of people who are divided already, how can they walk together unless they agree upon it? How can they agree upon it if they don't have an understanding of what each other is referring to or meaning? And if they are speaking a language that is already broken up and created by way of broken tones, how are they going to accomplish anything? How? Because there will be holes and gaps in everything that is expressed. That language can always be infiltrated, and their direction and their intentions can always be scrambled and misconstrued. Always. And their objectives can always be sabotaged. And thus, they remain in disorganization, divisiveness, division, inoperative state. So, how are we going to deal with this? That's the question. The right question is how. Well, we look to number 3. The right answer, formulas for remedy. And as we look for the right answer, formula for remedy, it leads us to the El Safun Lawad Shul Atumre, the sacred records of Atumre. And within this we find, it says, scroll 1, the beginning, it says, verse 1, come, let us, Nitiru, go down there and unify their tongues into one language, that the one true language of their past, and dispel of the diversity and confusion, Babel, that scattered them across the face of the planet, Tanin, Earth. Question. What must be done to break this spell? Verse 2. They must all speak one tongue. So come, let us give them back our and their only true language, Nuabit, that everything in their minds that they will imagine to do, they will be able to do. So come now, Yiniteru, and let us go down as Anunnaki and perform this great ceremony of the resurrection of the dead gods, for they have been dead for long enough. Their imprisonment before the blinding light of misinformation must end. question. So the light is not the truth that can dispel of the ignorance? Verse 4. You are more apt to be blinded by light than you are by darkness, a state in which the Nitiru, Yahweh Elohim, dwelled when he and they said, let there be light. And we're talking about Genesis. Okay, referring to Genesis in the Holy Bible. And you can go to Bible Hub and type that information in and find this particular scripture for reference. And so we're dealing with absorbing the principles that we find via sacred records of Etamari that comes and seeks to unify that language and mind, upper room, recall, rewire. That's what we're dealing with in principle. We're dealing with the reunification of the language. The reunification of the language. That is the right answer, formulas for remedy. The only solution. Seeking to unify the language and mind, upper room, recall, rewire. So now, here's something for you to ponder as you accept my rewire language communication. Recall and observe direction, intention, agreed upon. Okay, here's a scenario. It is considered, especially in the United States of America Incorporated, very derogatory and racist to refer to Native Americans as red, adjective. Right? However, as it pertains to melanin rich melanin beings, misnomered blacks, adjective, it is not derogatory or racist to refer to melanin rich beings as black, an adjective. If you were to go in this climate right now, in year 2020 AD, we're dealing with in this year 2020 Rewire. We have lots of teams, such as like the sports teams and other entities that have begun to rename and rebrand their companies, their teams, and they're taking a look at our Native American ancestors, and they say to themselves, hey, we don't want to be offensive to them, so we're going to begin to rebrand. We're going to change these names. We're going to not say Redskins. We're not going to call them certain terms that would reflect a derogatory or racist intention. And so the changes are being made. Okay, and you can go look it up and find out. Turn on the news. You will see different entities who have begun to rebrand and change their names. So you tell me, what spell has been cast that too many of our people do not see themselves as anything more, by universal nature's law, than an adjective? Adjectives which have no life or property or inheritance. Our kind is the only kind thus far diminished to superficial skin tones based on light-based perspective. Our kind is the only that I can see as of this date in time. We are talking about year 2020 AD. And so this rewire must happen. This year 2020 rewire must happen. This operation must happen. That's why we are here. So I remember I must remember that everything and nothing having its own language, vocabulary, verbiage, organic or inorganic, inner space or outer space, every species, whether earthling humans or earthling beasts, every part and whole or body part or organ or architect, government, sport, even a key or a table or a chair or a car or a flower, has its own language, vibration, verbiage. Verbiage, the manner in which something is expressed. Plants are expressing themselves in the plant language for life and the death. Wow. Moving forward. Now, I am remembering to begin unlocking the universe's nature's laws within and without an all beneficial world men have created by remembering and actually using each practical language tone in an operative manner. I'm going to repeat that. We learn by pattern. We learn by repetition. I am remembering to begin unlocking the universe's nature's laws within and without in all beneficial worlds men have created by remembering and actually using each practical language tone. I am remembering that without remembering, learning, using the language and or mastery of all or any language, there can never be unification in operative acts. And the inverse is also true. I am remembering, if divisiveness in operative action is to be gained, the language must be ignored, forgotten, not bothered to learn the language of all or any. I'm going to repeat that. I am remembering, if divisiveness in operative action is to be gained, the language must be ignored. The language must be forgotten. The language must not be bothered to be learned in any way, shape, or form. So, melanin-rich beings are generally unified. Generally. Yet are without substantial beneficial operation. So, it is easy to scatter us, yet contain and exploit us for Zeman energy absorption. Language is the cause for being inoperative. Language is the cause for being inoperative. Language is the cause for being operative. Language is the cause for being operative. Language is also the cause for being neutral, at a standstill. Language mastery for the mind data syntax must happen. Language mastery for the mind data syntax sake must happen. Must happen. Now I want to touch on something that I mentioned moments ago, and it pertains to melanin-rich beings being unified generally, but disorganized. What do I mean by that? You might look around and say, well, you know, black people just cannot seem to get along and get together and do something properly. Well, I'll put it like this. When it comes down to spending and being the number one consumers and spenders on the planet, there's unification. When it comes down to marching and singing and playing sports and going shopping again and making certain things popular in popular culture, there's unification there. So unification is not really the issue. The organization, a direction in terms of beneficial operation and intention is missing. And so that's what we're talking about. So again, we want to be able to return to language mastery for the mind data syntax. And this must happen. It must happen. It must happen. So, tell me how. How do I make it happen? How do I make it happen? By Rewire. Language law liquidation. Rewire. 8 Qs meditation. 8 Qs. 8 Qs. 9 Qs. 9 Qs meditation. And revisiting language, vocabulary, verbiage, knowing all and any meaning with and without the given context, then applying what is practical and beneficial. How do we make it happen? How do we make language mastery for the mind data syntax sake happen? How do we make it happen? Our way of language law liquidation, Rewire. 8 Qs, 9 Qs, 8 Qs meditation, 9 Qs meditation, and revisiting language, vocabulary, verbiage, knowing all and any meaning with and without the given context, then applying what is practical and beneficial. That means we don't want a change, we want a beneficial change. You see how I use that? You see that verbiage? The manner to which I express this thing? Okay, so now that we expressed ourselves this way, and in a very expressive way, expressively, I will share some key vocabulary with all willing to receive in another segment coming soon. And I look forward for your participation in that segment.
It's that time to show your support. So please, FreeWillGift support. Hashtag Year2020Rewire via CashApp. That is $sand9woman. That's SAND. Number 9, WOMAN. Website for Cash App, http://cash.me/$sand9woman. On PayPal, it is paypal.me/Yumi-Sand9woman. That's YUMMISAND number 9 WOMAN. Thank you for your support. Free Will Gift. I am very grateful that you decided to join me, and it's been a great pleasure absorbing your presence and exchanging. Now, until the next time, individuals collected, please return, replay this and all Rewires, study and operate. Take care. Peace. Shalom. Salam.